Yo, 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 what is up, boys and girls? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, I'm doing my AFL Round 1 tips. I didn't do Round 0 tips. I thought, oh, there's only 4 games, no point doing my tips for Round 0 as a video. Hindsight, I probably should have done it, but regardless, anyway, if you guys want to join my tipping league, I've also got going. There will be cash prizes for first, second, and third. $100 for first, second is $50, and third is $25. So yeah, join with the link below. First game we've got is Richmond versus Carlton at the MCG, and interestingly enough, Richmond have opted to go with Sam Laylor in this match. Laylor did get injured during the West Coast practice match, but good to see that he's up and about and making his debut for the club. As much as I would love to go with my Tigers, I'm going to have to go with my head, and I am going to tip Carlton for this game. I think Carlton are going to be too strong, but I think Richmond are going to show some fight. I think there was some promising signs in our practice match against Collingwood. So hopefully we can keep it to a 30-point margin and I'll be happy with that. Next up, we have the Hollywood Hawks versus the Bombers. And look, this game is very flip of the coin for me. Hawthorn, they were very impressive against the reigning minor premiers in Sydney. Sydney, to me, they looked like they were trying to throw that game. Like, obviously they weren't. Damn, Sydney had their chances. Like, Hawthorn, as much as they won and they were impressive, they were also pretty lucky to beat Sydney in Sydney. Essendon in their practice matches against the Bulldogs and Geelong were looking pretty good, especially the Geelong game. Like, Kako kicked three, maybe four, was it? But anyway, I'm assuming he's playing this week. Caddy looked impressive. I'm tipping Essendon. I'm not confident in it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm expecting Essendon to have a big year and wouldn't be surprised if they get the job done. Next up, we head to GMHBA Stadium to start Saturday's games, and we've got Geelong versus Fremantle. Look, this is another one that's going to be a flip of a coin. I think we've got a pretty even comp this year, same as last year, but I think the competition, like as much as last year was an even comp, I think it's gotten even more even this year. Fremantle, if you watched my video the other day, they're my tips for the flag. I think if anyone knows how to get the job done against Geelong in Geelong, it is Fremantle. Geelong have some handy ins with the likes of Bailey Smith, but Freo also have some handy ins with the likes of Shea Bolton. I think it's going to be a very good contest at GMHBA Stadium, but I am going to go with Freo. Um, they've got some very experienced players. They've got some very good players. I think Freo are going to open their accounts with a win. Next, we head back to the SCG for the second week in a row. We've got the grand final rematch, Sydney v Brisbane. Yeah, so Brisbane were meant to play Geelong last week up at the Gabba, but Cyclone Alfred had other plans. As I mentioned with the Hawthorn Essendon game, I think Hawthorn did get lucky to escape with a win. Sydney seemed to do everything in their power to throw the game essentially. I'm tipping Brisbane to win this match, and I'm purely tipping Brisbane to win this match for two main reasons. They've had the extra week of no games. They've got a point to prove that their grand final. I think they're gonna want to prove why they won the flag last year. It wasn't just a case of Sydney not showing up. I think Brisbane were always winning the grand final last year. They want to prove that point that they're the reigning premiers for a reason. Next, we're off to the MCG for the Battle of the Magpies. I mean, Collingwood versus Port Adelaide Power. Last week against the Giants, I expected Collingwood to win, like not easily, but I thought they were going to have a somewhat convincing win. But after their loss to the Giants, I have no faith in the Collingwood at the moment. Giants were depleted. They had many injuries. You could make a case that Collingwood had an somewhat easy fixture anyway, and they wasted the opportunity. They weren't conditioned maybe as well. I think Kane Corn, as much as people do not like Kane Corns, I think he said it well. They allowed their stars too much leeway over the off season, and they suffered for it against the Giants. Port Adelaide, they're going to be an interesting case this season. They've already announced Ken Hinkley's not coaching next season. It's either going to go one of two ways. players aren't going to have anything to play for, or they're going to be like, look, it's Ken's last roll of the dice. Let's go all or nothing. And I'm hoping they're going to go the all or nothing for Ken. And I'm thinking Port beat Collingwood. Now we head over to Marvel Stadium for North Melbourne versus the Bulldogs. I think this is a good game to start the year for these two teams. North, they've added some very experienced players to their team. Bulldogs are starting the season with a fair few injuries, a fair few outs. Bontempelli notably among them. Despite their injuries, I am still leaning towards the Bulldogs, and I have tipped them. I will say I would not be surprised if North pull off a sneaky victory, especially with their experienced players that they've brought in. We start Sunday off at the Adelaide Oval for the Crom versus St Kilda. St Kilda, St Kilda, they're in the same sort of boat as the Bulldogs at the moment with a fair few injuries. The Crows, they're looking pretty strong. They were looking pretty impressive in their practice matches, and I think the Crows at Adelaide Oval at the Fortress are going to get the job done. I think it's now or never with Matthew Nicks to make finals. Otherwise, I think he is going to be feeling a lot of pressure. We're going to lock in the Crows to start Sunday off with a win. Next up, we're back at the MCG for Melbourne versus the Giants. I'm not going to beat around the bush for this one. I think it's going to be another big sound from the west of the town. I think the Giants are going to easily get the job done over Melbourne. I think what Melbourne are going to be hoping for is a strong showing from Clary. Is Petrarca back? Because if Petrarca's back, it could make it a bit closer. I can't recall seeing Petrarca being back. I know he had a bit of a setback over the off season. The promising signs for Melbourne will be if Clary is at his best. Like he was looking impressive over the off season. But the Giants, I think, especially after what we saw on Sunday against Collingwood, I think the Giants are in for a big for a big year. Andy Munro, he did tip the Giants to be his premiers, and after what we saw on Sunday, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to make it to the big dance. I think they're going to continue their strong start to their campaign by beating Melbourne very convincingly. And we finished the round off at Optus Stadium. Gold Coast versus West Coast. Again, Gold Coast were meant to start their campaign last weekend against Essendon, and I think Essendon may have got off lucky because I think Gold Coast are looking primed and ready to make their maiden finals appearance. West Coast, I think they've shown a lot of improvement and they're showing a lot of good things, but to me, I think Gold Coast will get the job done, and I am tipping the Suns to start 2025 off with a win. Yeah, that concludes my tips. It's just a little recap. I've tipped Carlton, Essendon, Fremantle, Brisbane Bulldogs, Port, Adelaide, GWS, and the Suns. Let me know in the comments who you think will get up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, if you would like to join my tipping comp, the link will be in the comments below. See you in the next one. Peace.